Hello, this is AJ. Welcome to our next lesson. This lesson is called The Art of Power. And it comes from a book. The topic comes from a book with the same name. The book is called The Art of Power. And the book is by Thich Nhat Hanh. Now, Thich Nhat Hanh is a Buddhist monk. He is a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. And really one of my favorite writers, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite teachers. And I've been reading Thich Nhat Hanh's books and listening to his audio teachings for many, many years. And he's a very special guy. Thich Nhat Hanh, again, he's Vietnamese, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. And during the Vietnam War, he created an organization, and he created a movement for peace. So I believe he was in South Vietnam during the war, and he did not support either side. He was not supporting the communist North. He was not supporting the United States-backed South. He was just trying to end the war. He was trying to get peace in Vietnam. And the Buddhist monks that were in his group were doing the same. They were just trying to help people and trying to stop the war, stop the killing. Well, unfortunately, as happens in the world, because he would not join either side, both sides didn't like him. So the Americans and the South Vietnamese, they thought he was bad because he was trying to stop the fighting. And the North Vietnamese communists, they didn't like him either because he was trying to stop the killing and the fighting. And so Thich Nhat Hanh, he had to leave Vietnam. His life was in danger from both sides. And eventually he had to leave Vietnam. And he could not return. I think he just recently returned a couple years ago. The Vietnamese government allowed him to come back because I guess he's still quite popular in Vietnam. But anyway, he moved to France and he started to teach and write books and tapes, and he created a monastery in France where he teaches people about peace and about making your life better and about helping other people. And while he is a Buddhist, many of his students are Christians or Muslim or Jewish or not religious or Hindus. It doesn't matter. He's not like a strict Buddhist, like you must be a Buddhist. He just wants to teach the principles of peace and understanding and love. So he's a wonderful person. And he's got many great books. This book is called The Art of Power. And of course, the power he's talking about is the power to be good, the power to control your own life and to have a good life and to help other people. So it's not power to control other people. It's power for yourself. So let me read a little section from his book, and then we'll talk about this section, and we'll talk a little more about Thich Nhat Hanh. Okay, here's the section. Are you ready? Let's start. When a seed is watered in our subconscious, it manifests as an energy in our conscious and becomes a mental formation or an emotion or a thought. You have a seed of anger, but when the seed of anger is asleep, it is dormant in your subconscious and you don't feel angry. However, when the seed is touched, when it is turned on, when it is watered, it becomes a conscious emotion, a conscious mental formation called anger. And you feel the energy of anger arise. We can envision consciousness as a living room and subconsciousness as a basement. If we water a seed of joy and happiness, that seed will grow and manifest itself on the upper level of consciousness. making the living room beautiful, making our mind beautiful, making our thoughts and our feelings beautiful. If we water the seed of anger or hatred, it will make the living room of our mind a hell for us and a hell for our loved ones. We all have a seed of anger, a seed of despair, a seed of jealousy in us. If you live in a negative environment, the environment can trigger these seeds. If you live in a positive environment, then the seeds of craving, violence, hate, and anger are not touched, not watered easily. So, it is wise for you to choose a good environment, an environment that will prevent these negative seeds from being touched or watered often. You should not allow other people around you to touch or water these seeds, and you should not allow yourself to water them. When you read an article full of violence, or watch a violent television program or movie, you turn on the seed of violence. So the first step is diligence. You need the diligence and discipline to control your environment. You need the diligence not to turn on these negative seeds and not to allow the environment to turn them on. Diligence means the practice of selective watering. So if the negative seeds in the subconscious have not grown, keep them down there. Don't let them get watered. In your daily life, be careful not to give these negative seeds a chance to grow. Don't suppress them. Just don't give them a chance. In your community, in your family, expose yourself only to sounds and sights that will help you touch the wholesome seeds within you. Try not to expose yourself to sights and sounds that stimulate the seeds of craving or anger. You need diligence to practice this. And you may need a community or a group of friends with similar values to help you create a good environment. You can encourage your partner, your children, and your friends to help you protect yourself from negative environments. You can also protect them by creating an environment where they don't have to be in touch with negative thoughts, ideas, and therefore don't have to touch their negative seeds. Okay, that's the end of that section from Thich Nhat Hanh. So, of course, he's talking a little bit poetically. It's a metaphor. This idea of seeds. This idea you have seeds in your mind, in your brain, negative and positive. So they're just waiting like a seed in the ground. If there's a seed in the ground, if you don't give it water, if you don't give it sunshine, it will not grow. If you don't give it food and energy, it won't grow. If you give it water and food and energy, it will grow. So he's saying, imagine this is your mind. Your mind. And in your mind, in the subconscious, you have all these little seeds. Violent seeds, seeds of anger, seeds of jealousy, and also positive. Seeds of love, seeds of caring, seeds of strength. So he's saying we need to be careful about our environment. We need to be careful so that we give food and energy and water to the positive seeds, help them grow more and more, stronger and stronger. And we have to be careful. Have diligence means be careful. We have to be careful to not give energy and food and water to the negative seeds. So what he's just saying is that we want to be careful about our environment. We want to be careful about the movies we watch. We want to be careful about the TV shows we watch. We want to be careful about the articles we read. Because if we're always watching violent TV shows, we're always watching the news full of violence and war and terrible negative things, well, then we are watering those seeds in us. It will be easier for us to be angry or violent or upset or sad or depressed. Because we're giving food, we're giving energy, we're giving water to all those negative seeds. Every time we watch a violent movie, every time we watch bad, negative news, every time we read a newspaper that's full of negative stories, we're feeding the negative thoughts and feelings in our own brain, making it easier for ourselves to feel bad. So he's saying we want to do the opposite. We want to always be watching positive movies and TV shows or DVDs or whatever with positive messages full of love and hope and strength. We want to read stories that are very positive and inspiring, that give energy to our strength and our love and our generosity. We want to be very careful about what comes into our eyes and our ears, in other words. And that's part of the idea of these lessons, these Power English lessons. Because I want to do more than just teach you English. I want to be sure that every lesson is full of positive messages, inspiring messages. I want to water and feed the positive seeds in your subconscious. So yes, you're learning English. Yes, you're learning vocabulary. Yes, you're improving your grammar. Yes, you will speak more fluently. But more importantly than that, you're also feeding the positive emotions, the positive thoughts, the positive values in your mind. So that's a very important part of these lessons. It's one of my main goals, is to make sure that every single lesson has some kind of positive message so that you're getting lots and lots of positive energy from me. And if you want to help yourself, you should also avoid the negative. It means turn off the TV. Don't watch the news. You do not need to watch the news. The news is full of negative, terrible stories. And, as a former journalist, I can also tell you a lot of the news is just not accurate. It's just wrong. It's basically government propaganda. And whichever country you're in, you're getting the stories that they want you to hear. So you're not really hearing very much. If there's a very big story, some huge event happens in the world, you'll hear about it. Other people will tell you. You'll walk on the street, you'll see it on the cover of the newspaper. So, you don't need to worry. You won't be lost. But most of the news is not necessary. It doesn't really help your life. It's information that you don't need, and it's negative, negative, negative. It feeds and waters jealousy and fear and depression and sadness and anger in you. So just avoiding the news, avoid newspapers, avoid television news. Just doing that is going to increase your positive energy so much. You will feel so much better. And instead of listening to that crap and reading that crap, read books that are positive and inspiring. Listen to CDs that are positive and inspiring, that give you power and energy. Do that every day, and you're going to feel fantastic. You're going to gain power in yourself. And then you're going to be able to use that power to help yourself and to help other people. So instead of feeling sad, instead of feeling afraid, instead of feeling powerless, you will feel powerful and positive, and you will actually make your life and your world better. And you'll help other people do the same thing. That's why you need to be very careful. That's why you need to avoid all these negative influences in the negative environment, and especially the news. And that's why you need to seek out and find positive messages all the time to make yourself emotionally powerful. All right, well, that is the end of The Art of Power. Next is the vocabulary lesson. Again, seek out, listen to positive, inspiring things all the time. These lessons, and also find other stuff. And read books. All these books that I've mentioned in these lessons, go find them. Read them in English, read them in your language. It doesn't matter, but read them. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, this is AJ. Welcome to the vocabulary lesson for the art of power. Let's get started right away. Here we go. Our first word is subconscious. We've talked about this word already several times, so I'll review it quickly. Subconscious means the deep part of your mind. It's the deep emotions, the deep thoughts that they're not at the top of your mind. You're not thinking about them. You don't realize that they are there. They're deep down. And then, of course, the other kind of mind or consciousness is your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is what you are thinking about right now. You know what you're thinking about. You can kind of see it or hear it in your brain. But the subconscious is deeper. You don't see it or hear it immediately. It's not obvious. So that's subconscious. Our next word is dormant. Dormant. So Thich Nhat Hanh said that often these seeds of anger or the seeds of violence or the seeds of sadness and depression, often they are dormant. Dormant means sleeping. Quite simply, it means sleeping. So again, dormant. If the seeds are dormant, it means they're sleeping. They're not growing. They're not active. They're not awake. They are sleeping. So dormant means sleeping. You hear this word with volcanoes sometimes. We'll say it's a dormant volcano. Volcano's a big mountain, right? It explodes sometimes. Well, if it's a dormant volcano, it's a sleeping volcano. It's not exploding. There's nothing happening. It's asleep. Okay, so dormant. Again, dormant means sleeping or asleep. Our next word is formation. Formation. He says that when these negative emotions, these negative seeds, are fed or watered, when you give them energy, they become mental formations. So a formation is just a thing, an organized thing. So, in other words, they become real things. They become alive. They become awake. They become real things. So before, you had this seed of anger, but you weren't angry. It's down there. It's asleep. Nothing's happening. But then maybe you watch the news or you're around a lot of angry people. And then suddenly that seed starts growing, and now anger becomes real. It becomes a mental formation. It becomes a real idea. It becomes a real feeling in your brain, in your mind. So again, so formation is just something that is something that is real and organized. Something that exists in reality. All right, our next word is manifest. We've had this before. To manifest means to become real. Again, a very similar idea. So if you say anger manifests in your mind, it means it becomes real in your mind. It becomes alive. So here we're using manifest as a verb. It's the action. Formation was a noun. It's the actual thing. But to manifest means to become real. It's an action. It's a verb. All right, next is the word trigger, to trigger. I believe we have talked about this word before, so I'll review it quickly. To trigger, it says the environment can trigger the seeds of anger. The environment can trigger the seeds of depression or sadness. So to trigger means to turn on. To turn on. So before, the anger is asleep, it's dormant. Something happens, it triggers the anger, it turns on the anger. Now the anger is awake, now the anger is on. It was triggered. So again, to trigger means to suddenly turn on. To cause something to turn on. Our next word is craving. Craving. He says, if you live in a positive environment, then the seeds of craving are not watered easily. Craving means desire. It means wanting something a lot. Wanting. But it has a negative feeling. It's kind of a negative word. So it means wanting something that's not healthy, wanting something too much. So, for example, I crave fat foods. I crave lots of money. It means you must have it. You really, really, really want it. You're constantly thinking about it. So here I'm using it as a verb, to crave. To crave means to want a lot, to want too much. It really has this idea of too much. You want too much. You're obsessed. So craving is a noun, and to crave, the verb. To want too much. Our next word is diligence. Diligence really means discipline. It means self-control, control of yourself, control of your thoughts, and control of your desires, and control of your emotions. It's discipline, self-discipline. So again, that's diligence. Diligence also has the idea of being careful, right? It means being careful. And the adjective is diligent. Diligent. If you say, he is a diligent person, it means he's a very careful person, right? Very disciplined, very careful. The opposite would be reckless, not careful. Just totally doing anything and never thinking about it, never being careful. That's the opposite. So diligent, again, means disciplined and very careful. Diligent is the adjective. Diligence is the noun. So Thich Nhat Hanh says, we need diligence to be happy. It means we need to have discipline. We need to control our environment more. We have to be careful. We have to be disciplined. We have to be controlled about what we watch and what we read. We have to be diligent about our friends. We have to be careful that we choose positive friends. We have to be disciplined. Okay, our next word is suppress. He says, be careful, don't water the negative seeds. But he says, also, don't suppress them. Don't suppress. To suppress means to push down by force. It means to use force to push down. So, for example, you feel angry. You're starting to feel angry, right? It's already happening. It's too late. It's happening. I'm angry. Arr! Well, if you suppress anger, it means you... and you don't say anything, right? You push the anger down. You don't say anything. You don't do anything. You don't show your anger. You pretend. You are angry, but you pretend you're not. That's suppression is the noun. Suppression, or the verb is to suppress. You are suppressing your anger. You're pushing it down. You're pretending it's not there. You are angry, but you're pretending you're not. So that's not healthy. That's not good. So Thich Nhat Hanh is saying, don't suppress your anger. If it comes up, if it's too late, it already came up, well, then you have to be honest and be open. Yes, I'm angry. You don't push it down. You don't pretend you're not angry because you give yourself a heart attack. It's very unhealthy. But he's saying what you want to do is prevent the anger from happening. Stop it before it happens. So by feeding yourself a lot of positive thoughts, a lot of positive videos, a lot of positive books, a lot of positive people, the anger won't come up. But if it does come up, don't suppress it. Don't push it down. Okay, and our final word is wholesome. Wholesome. He says you want to find a lot of wholesome influences. You want to find wholesome books. You want to find wholesome elements within you and within your environment. You want to be around wholesome people. Wholesome means good and healthy. Good and healthy. Wholesome. So again, wholesome means good and healthy. So for example, wholesome food. You should eat wholesome food. It means you should eat good and healthy food. wholesome food. Or he's a very wholesome person. He's a very good and healthy person. Wholesome. Okay, well, that is all for our vocabulary lesson for the art of power. Listen to it a few times so you understand the vocabulary, and then listen and focus on the other lessons in this lesson pack. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to the mini story for the art of power. Let's begin. Sally was a cow. And Sally the cow craved chocolate. She desired chocolate. She had to have chocolate all the time. She always wanted chocolate. She craved it. Who craved chocolate? Sally. Sally the cow craved chocolate. What was Sally? She was a cow. Sally was a cow. How did she feel about chocolate? She craved it. Sally craved chocolate. She wanted it so much. She thought about chocolate all the time. I must have chocolate. So she craved vanilla, right? No, wrong. She did not crave vanilla. She craved chocolate. She thought about chocolate all the time. So, do you think Sally was thin or fat? Well, exactly. Of course, she was fat. She was obese. Very, very fat. Sally was an obese cow. Why was she an obese cow? Because she craved chocolate every day, and she ate chocolate every day. Why was she fat? Because she craved chocolate and ate chocolate every single day, all the time. Of course, Sally wanted to lose weight. So first, she tried to suppress her craving. Did she accept her craving, or did she suppress her craving? Well, she tried to suppress it. She tried to push it down. I don't want chocolate. I don't want chocolate. I don't want chocolate. I don't need chocolate. She tried to pretend that she didn't want chocolate. She tried to suppress, to push down her craving. What did she try to suppress? Her craving for chocolate. She tried to suppress her craving for chocolate. What did she crave? Chocolate. She craved chocolate. What did she do to this craving? Well, she suppressed it. Well, she tried to suppress it. She tried to push it away. She tried to push it down. Who tried to suppress her craving for chocolate? Sally the cow. Sally the cow tried to suppress her craving for chocolate. Why did she try to suppress her craving for chocolate? Well, because she wanted to lose weight. She wanted to lose weight, so she tried to suppress her craving for chocolate. And who tried? Who tried to suppress her craving? Sally. Sally the cow tried to suppress her craving for chocolate. But unfortunately, One day, she saw a candy bar in the store. And the candy bar triggered her craving. What did she see in the store? That's right, she saw a candy bar in the store. What kind of candy bar did she see? Obviously. Well, obviously, she saw a chocolate candy bar. Where did she see the candy bar? The chocolate candy bar? In the store. She saw a chocolate candy bar in the store. What did the chocolate candy bar do to her? It triggered her craving for chocolate. Did it turn on her craving for chocolate? Oh, yes, it did. It triggered her craving for chocolate. Did it give power to her craving for chocolate? Absolutely, yes. It triggered her craving for chocolate. What triggered Sally's craving for chocolate? A candy bar. Seeing the candy bar. A candy bar triggered her craving for chocolate. What kind of craving did it trigger? Well, a craving for chocolate. It triggered her craving for chocolate. Whose craving did it trigger? Sally's craving. The candy bar triggered Sally's craving for chocolate. It turned on the craving again. So she saw a candy bar and it triggered her craving for chocolate. She said, "I must have chocolate!" And so she bought 4,000 chocolate bars and she ate all of them. How many chocolate bars did she buy? 4,000. She bought 4,000 chocolate bars. She ate all of them very fast. And she became more fat. Why did she become more fat? Well, because she ate 4,000 candy bars in one day. Chocolate candy bars, of course. Oh no, poor Sally. Now she was even fatter. Well, she decided not to suppress her cravings anymore, not to push them down. Instead, she decided to study yoga. Sally the cow studied yoga every day. And she learned discipline and diligence from yoga. What did she study? She learned yoga. How often did she practice yoga? Every day. She practiced yoga every day. What did she learn from yoga? Well, she learned discipline and diligence. She learned to control herself. She learned how to be in control of her feelings and her thoughts. She learned diligence. She learned how to be careful about her thoughts and her feelings. So what did she learn from yoga? Diligence. She learned diligence from yoga. Yoga taught her diligence. Did she learn laziness from yoga? No. The opposite. She didn't learn laziness. She learned diligence. She learned to be controlled and strong with her mind and her emotions. Who learned diligence from yoga? Sally. Sally the cow learned diligence from yoga. What did she learn diligence from? From yoga. She learned diligence from yoga. What did she study? She studied yoga. Sally the cow studied yoga, and she learned diligence, control, and discipline from yoga. Eventually, over time, her chocolate cravings lessened. They became weaker and weaker. They became smaller and smaller. And eventually, her chocolate cravings became dormant. What happened to her chocolate cravings? They became dormant. They became quiet. They went to sleep. Were her chocolate cravings awakened, strengthened, or were they made dormant? Well, they were made dormant. They became dormant. They went to sleep. What became dormant? Sally's chocolate cravings became dormant. They became weaker and weaker and finally asleep. Her chocolate cravings, her desire for chocolate became dormant, became sleepy and weak. Whose chocolate cravings became dormant? Sally's. Sally's chocolate cravings became dormant, became sleepy, became quiet. Did her vanilla cravings become dormant, or did her chocolate cravings become dormant? Well, obviously, of course, her chocolate cravings became dormant. Why did her chocolate cravings become dormant? Because now she had diligence. She had self-control. She had diligence. Because she had diligence, her chocolate cravings became dormant, became quiet, went to sleep. Did she want chocolate anymore? No, she didn't. Her chocolate cravings were dormant. And so her chocolate cravings became dormant. Sally ate only wholesome, healthy food. What kind of food did Sally eat? She ate only wholesome food, only healthy food, only good, healthy food. Did she eat junk food or did she eat wholesome food? She ate wholesome food, good, healthy food. What did she eat? Wholesome food. She ate wholesome food. Who ate wholesome food? Sally. Sally ate wholesome food. What was Sally? She was a cow. Sally was a cow. Sally was a cow, and she ate only wholesome food. What kind of food did she eat? Wholesome food. She ate only wholesome food. As a result, Sally became thin and gorgeous and sexy. She became a thin, gorgeous, sexy cow. All the male cows wanted her. What kind of cow did Sally become? She became a thin, gorgeous, sexy cow. Who wanted Sally? all the male cows, all the men cows, all the male cows wanted Sally because now she was a thin, gorgeous, sexy cow. And that is the end of the mini-story for The Art of Power. Listen to it many times. Pause and answer the questions. Always answer the questions with a strong voice. Always have a strong physiology. Shoulders back, chin up, eyes up, big smile, strong voice. Breathing deep, moving your body. So important. This is so important. When you do this, you teach your mind, you teach your brain to be confident when you speak English. Your English will improve much, much faster. Okay, it's the end of the mini story. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, this is AJ. Welcome to the POV stories for The Art of Power. Let's start. Since 2002, Sally has craved chocolate. She has wanted it every day, every hour of her life since 2002. She has become, unfortunately, super fat because she has craved chocolate so much. So Sally, since 2002, has become super fat because she has craved chocolate every day and every hour. Now, of course, during this time, she has wanted to lose weight. She has wanted to lose weight, all this time. Every day she has thought about it. Every day she has thought, I want to lose weight. In fact, every day she has tried to suppress her craving for chocolate. She has tried to push down the craving. She has tried to pretend that she didn't crave chocolate. But of course, this suppression has failed. It has always failed. In fact, one day it failed in a huge way. It was a super big failure one day. Because one day she saw a candy bar in the store. And the candy bar triggered her craving. And she bought 4,000 chocolate candy bars. She ate all of them in one day. So on that day, she stopped trying to suppress her craving. Instead, she decided to study yoga. And she went to a yoga studio and she studied yoga. By studying yoga, she learned discipline and diligence. And because she learned diligence, her chocolate cravings lessened. They got weaker and weaker. Until one day, they became totally dormant, totally asleep, totally quiet. Her chocolate cravings became dormant. And after that, she ate only wholesome, healthy food. And because she ate only wholesome food, she became thinner and thinner. In fact, she became a thin, gorgeous, sexy cow. And so all the male cows wanted her. They wanted her because she was thin and gorgeous and sexy. Okay, that's the end of our first POV story. Next, we go into the future. You already know this, so let's do it. Let's start. In the future, there will be a cow, and her name will be Sarah. Sarah's gonna crave chocolate. She's gonna crave chocolate every minute, every hour of every day. Of course, she'll become super fat. Sally the cow will be a super fat cow because she's gonna crave chocolate. Now, she'll want to lose weight, yes, definitely. And she'll try to suppress her craving for chocolate. But she will fail. She won't be able to suppress it totally. In fact, one day, she's gonna see a chocolate bar in the store. That chocolate bar will trigger her craving for chocolate, and she'll buy 4,000 chocolate bars and eat all of them in one day. She'll become even fatter, and she'll stop trying to suppress her craving. Instead, she'll decide to study yoga. She'll go to a yoga studio every day, and she'll study and practice yoga every day. By studying yoga, she'll learn diligence and discipline. As a result, her chocolate cravings will lessen. They'll get weaker and weaker, and finally, they'll become totally dormant. After that, she's gonna eat only wholesome, healthy food. And she'll become thinner and thinner and thinner until one day she'll be a thin, gorgeous, sexy cow. And all the male cows are gonna want her. They're gonna want her because she's so damn sexy. Okay, that is the end of the POV stories for The Art of Power. Listen to them every day for at least 1 week. See you next time. Bye-bye.